Happy Pride Month, y'all. Wanted to make this video to kind of like introduce you to a clever crafting idea for the month. I actually did this with a church group a couple years back, and it's actually a 3D Mandala rainbow. So it's something a little different from your typical crafting projects that you would probably find online as well. So one of the things I'll do is I'll kind of like walk you through, how to put this bad boy together. One of the nice things that we had at the time was someone in the group actually had like a paper cutter that made like these stencils. But then I'll kind of like walk you through, kind of like the layering of them and using the rubber cement to kind of assemble it. But as you can kind of see here, it makes it look a really cool little, keepsake gift and, just something to help celebrate the month with. All right. So as you can kind of see here, we have what it's supposed to look like. And then you can kind of see that we have a lot of these different cutouts here. They almost look very beautiful even before you even assemble it. But kind of like following this order, you'll just kind of like layer them on top like so to kind of get this very, very, very beautiful design here. And then that one, just making sure that everything lines up before I start with the glue. I think this one goes like this. Yep, that is perfect. Awesome. Okay, yep, so we got our plan. So for folks who have not used this before, but this is rubber cement. It's a really good glue for crafting. And unlike, like some of the like Elmer's glue or like the other like liquid glues that kind of like leave a lot of residue, this is really nice because even like when you do get some like on parts that are not supposed to be, as it dries, you're able to just like kind of like rub it off with your finger because it'll just dry to like a kind of like basically a little pieces of rubber. But then it also dries really fast. So one thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and kind of just get everything nicely evened out over here. And I think the thing about it is you kind of just want to do like a dab in the middle, but it's really mainly the edges that you want to make sure that you do a good job of covering everything. And definitely with some of these intricate designs here, you just want to make sure that you got those parts so they stick really well. And then I'll kind of just turn this over here. Line this up really nicely. And as you can kind of see here too, it's like there was like a little bit of mess here, but that's fine because as it dries, you'll be able to get that off pretty easily. All right, now we can do the next one. Just making sure things line up good. And I think when we did this project at the church, we did this for the adults, just because the supplies required a little bit more work, definitely with cutting out all these different layers for this project. But then for the kids, we had some young adults, working on these as well. But like for the really, really little kids, we actually did, what was it? It was like the little pipe cleaners with the cotton balls. I'll probably drop a picture up there to kind of show you what it looked like. But that was also a hit as well. So definitely, because this does require a little bit more, motor skills. Sometimes that type of rainbow project would be more appropriate for the really young kiddos. So now we're at the next one. We're gonna do this one now.
Again, I just cannot recommend using rubber cement. I mean, I even use this for a lot of scrapbooking projects as well. Because again, whether it's like pictures or construction paper or, you know, little souvenirs, whatever you might, you know, put in a scrapbook, or clippings, it just does a really good job of keeping it, you know, not like making too much of a mess, but also like quickly drying and also like keeping things in place. Almost there. Yeah, and even like some of this parts as it's drying, you could just like wipe your finger a little bit and it'll just kind of get some of that glue off. You know, but it doesn't leave any of that like white residue, so that's always nice. Again, just like for this really fine part up here, you know, just doing a little brush over to get some of that glue there, you know. And again, if you could imagine using like the typical like glue sticks or whatever, or even liquid glues, like how hard that would actually be to do. But you know, again, because the rubber cement has that brush, it could get glue applied on like these detailed parts without, again, making a big mess, and also just, you know, visually messing up your craft. All right, you just kind of see, it just really goes really breezy quick. What's in this one? So again, with this design, you know, it's a lot more, you know, cutouts here, but again, you just take the glue brush and just, you know, and I'm not too worried about getting this on the desk because, like I said, after it dries, it rubs off really easily. So we could just make sure we get these edges and these corners, and that's going to be really good for the end result. Look at that. It's coming together really nicely. And this is second to last. We're gonna get this on here. This is such a fun project that I do in the future want to get one of those machines to be able to cut these, because I would love to try some more projects like this in the future. And last but not least, we have this one. Just putting it on there, scraping off the excess, flip it over, close this, let it dry out, and look, my rainbow has a twin. So nice.
And there you have it. You can see the final product. Very nice. Be sure to try it yourself. Let me know how it goes.